Hello everyone, Quilting Marine here. Here we go. This is the block that had me shook for the longest time. This is the pinwheel. And I avoided this thing for like almost a year because it looked so intimidating. I was like, nah, I think I'm gonna stick with patchwork and that came from patches of fabric that I bought, and that's why I pretty much stuck with doing scrappy quilts because this thing, it was intimidating, and to someone who doesn't know anything about quilting like I was, I'm like, okay, I'm gonna avoid this. And then one day I was just like, I'm just gonna dive in. So I watched a couple of videos, and I can't take credit for it because all credit goes to Jenny with Missouri Star Quilt Company. I watched her do the pinwheel, and she explained it so well, and I built my first pinwheel, and it came out good. And as a matter of fact, this is my very first pinwheel. I saved it. I made a bunch of other ones, okay, but this is my first one. It's like one of those checks at a Chinese restaurant when you go there and the first money that they ever made, they put it on the wall. This is my first pinwheel, and I wanted to put it on the wall. Okay, so we're gonna give it a shot. The best way that I can explain it, okay, is you got to take your time, all right? And the parts that really you pay attention to is the joining in the middle. When you join in the middle, you want the pinwheel to look like it's starting from the same point. It could be a little challenging, but when you get it, you're gonna be so proud of it. Okay? So let's give it a shot. We're gonna do a pinwheel with black and white today. So first, we're gonna roll out some white. We're gonna roll out some white fabric, okay? To try to get pre-organized before we're gonna film, but you need to know the whole experience. So we're gonna go with we're gonna do like a 12-inch. We'll start with a 12-inch block. Okay. So in the center of my self-healing mat, we're gonna go use the 12-inch square just to keep us in check. Okay. So I'm gonna roll out some white fabric. The 24 line. I'm gonna have my 12 line right here. I'm gonna cut here at the 12. All right. Remember, be careful with your rotary cutters, please. Okay. 12 on both ends. I'm gonna cut that. Okay, and then we're gonna cut the bottom line. Okay, we're gonna make sure these are together, and we're gonna cut on the bottom line here. Okay, the bottom line right being this line right here. Okay, going through quickly so I don't have a 900-hour video on doing pinwheel. Make sure I'm on the line, and I'm gonna cut. This is gonna be our white fabric for our pinwheel. Okay, now we're gonna go with black. We're going with the contrasting colors so you can see how it comes together. It comes together a little bit better. 12 line. All right. We're gonna kind of make this. We want to make this straight. This is what happens when they cut your fabric with scissors. It looks crazy. All right. Here to this line right here. We will cut on the 12 line. Make sure it's straight. And we shall cut here. 12. Okay, same line right here. 12 by 12. Okay, I'm gonna make a big one. Okay, so have my black here. We want right sides facing each other, okay? So the right side of my black facing the right side of a white, all right? I'm gonna put them down. Okay, now that we have our pieces cut and matched, all right, right sides facing, remember. Okay, so now we're gonna do a 1/4 inch seam allowance. Now there's two ways to do this, okay? You could do a 1/4 inch seam allowance by sewing off of the material and then repositioning your material and then starting another stitch. Or you can do another technique where you with your needle down. Set your needle for down position. You start your stitch, and when you get to the corner, you lift up your presser foot and pivot the material around that position, and then re-sew again. All right, we're gonna try. I'm gonna show you both techniques on here, and you decide what you want to do. There's no rules to this, okay? Okay, so sewing off of the material. We're gonna try the first one that I described first, all right? I'm gonna set my presser foot down, 1/4 inch seam allowance. Do a back stitch, because I'm so used to doing it, sorry. Stay straight. 1/4 inch. Okay, so this is the first one. What we're gonna do is just gonna sew right off, okay? Right off the material. And the back stitch. Lift up and cut. And then I'm just gonna reposition and start my stitch again, but above the first stitch, okay? I'm gonna reset, 1/4 inch, all right? And on the back stitch here, sorry. And go on. All right, so the next one, what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna set my needle position for down, because we're gonna come to the corner, and I'm just gonna go around the corner. All right, again, got to about a quarter of an inch distance from the edge. I'm gonna lift up, and I'm just gonna pivot. Okay, pivot my material. Press your foot down, and on we go. Okay, so with those two techniques, all right, it's up to you. Whatever you think is better for you. That's pivoting the corner right there with the needle set for the down position. And this one is just sewing off of the material and then starting again from the edge of the material. These are the two techniques you can use when putting a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the outside of two facing materials that you're gonna sew up, okay? Go ahead and finish here. I'm gonna set my needle for up because I'm gonna sew off the edge. Whatever technique you are comfortable with, okay? There's no rules. Back stitch. All right, reset. Come to 1/4 inch. And I'm just gonna do it again. Same thing. I want you to be comfortable with your machine and what techniques you use. All right? Those are the two techniques you can use. All right, pivoting the corner and sewing off the edge. So when you hear those terms, that's what they're talking about. All right, we're just gonna set the seam here. Put a little heat on there, set the seam. Well, I'm sorry, but it's the Marine in me. I see wrinkles, and I just gotta get them out sometimes. Okay. All right, here we go. Back to the center. All right, and this is what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut diagonally from corner to corner. All right, cut diagonally from corner to corner after you've completed your 1/4 inch seam. Leave it where it is, okay? Don't let it slide out of place. Just leave it right where it is. And we're going to the opposite corners. All right, opposite corners. Corner to corner, make sure your material is not shifted. Corner to corner on the stitch. Do not pay attention to the corner of the fabric. Pay attention to the corner of the stitch. All right? Sorry for the reach, but I don't want to cut my fingers off. Okay, so once we got our cut completed, this is what we have. See these boxes that we just opened up? Now these can be put in any kind of design, all kind of different looks that they have, but we're going for the pinwheel, okay? So let's iron these open here. We're gonna take them to the iron and we'll open them up here. Just gonna open them up real quick, I'm sorry. Camouflage ironing board. You like that, huh? Yep. Made that myself. We're on a budget, all right? Can't be going out buying high-speed, low-drag ironing boards. Got to make it myself. Okay. Got our pieces opened up. Put that there. I'm going to put this one here. And we're going to put this one here. All right, you see it coming together, right? Now, the thing that you have to pay attention to is when you start putting them together, sewing them together, okay? It's real easy to get them out of place. It is real easy. So what I do is I'm just going to fold this over. Remember, right sides facing together. I want to hang on to it in a way where I know that this is the seam that I'm going for. I'm going to put my 1/4 inch right along this edge right here, okay? Okay, 1/4 inch from here. Back stitch a couple. All right, 1/4 inch seam. Okay, let's set the seam here. I'm gonna iron it on the outside. Set that stitch. We'll open it up. Okay, so remember where we unfolded it, right? There we go. And now it's the top part. Fold that over. Remember, we're going this way, all right? Don't mix it up and end up going that way. Believe me, I've done it. Let's bring it to the machine. Same thing, 1/4 inch seam. Now these little ears right here, sometimes I cut them off. And, you know, because once you sew it together and they get bunched up in the middle, all right, and you start having these bumps in the middle of your pinwheel. But for right now, I'm just showing you how to put together a pinwheel, all right? And this is for all my new quilters out there. Don't let anything intimidate you, but this did for a year. Told myself for a while, like, yeah, I'm just gonna stick with scrappy quilts and everyone will be happy with that. And then I just decided, hey, it's time to move on. I think my skills are getting into a point where I should learn how to do a pinwheel. So I pulled up the video on pinwheel, and there's a couple of ways of doing it, but I found this to be the best for me. Just like with you, I'm sure you could find one that may be better than this for you. It's okay. The rules do not apply, okay? It's all about your imagination and what you can do. All right, so now we're ready to put the pinwheel together. The two halves that we put together, now we're gonna sew these together. So the part that you need to pay attention to, okay, is the meat where they join up at. So this little extra hairiness here, I'm gonna take that off. Okay, just to help show what we got going on here. Okay, so I'm gonna match these up. Now you see how there's just some distance here from where the points meet and the bottom, and the same here. Remember, when you do a 1/4 inch seam allowance on both sides, when you put this together, when we do our 1/4 inch, this edge and this edge right here are gonna meet. Now, this is a good point to show you how we marry up the seam. So marrying up the seam, or having the seams meet up so that they match in the middle. I don't know how to show this, but okay, so you look at this edge right here. You see how it folds this way in this direction? Can we see that? It folds in this direction, right? Okay, in this one, let me cut this off here so we can see that. And this one folds in the opposite direction. Okay, so what I do is, and I learned this from the wife. I put them together. I match them up. I try to make sure that the seam going in opposite directions meet in the middle. I don't know how to explain it, but that's what I do. I try to match them up perfectly. Okay, I know it's I'm probably not explaining it in the best terms, but there's a way where you see this white edge will meet around the opposite end's white edge, okay? And then I pin it. I'm gonna pin it, okay? Just so it stays still while I'm sewing it. I'll pin right there. All right, let's put a 1/4 inch seam allowance on it. Back stitch there, and here we go. Okay, so here's a good thing right here. So make sure when you pin, you put your pin in a distance far enough from your pressure foot where you're not running over your pins. There's going to be some situations where you're going to need your pin to go, opposite your pressure foot, but try to get in the habit of pinning in a distance away so that your pressure foot doesn't run over your pin. Now here we go. This is where all that fabric meets, okay? And now all I was doing was adjusting my pressure foot so that the fabric doesn't fold back. I want that fabric to lay down flat. Okay. Back stitch here. Pull it, cut it. Let me pull my pin out here. We're gonna iron it open, and let's hope we have something that's worth showing on YouTube. Okay, let's press the seam. I'll open it up. Okay, so we have a little something here. There we have a pinwheel, all right? And it's not the best, all right, because I wanted it to really meet in the middle, like on my red one. But it takes practice, believe me. I haven't been doing them long. But this is a pinwheel, and this is how you'll do a pinwheel, and you could just keep making blocks like this, or you can make them smaller too, all right? We made a big block because I wanted you to see generally what we're working with. You can make them from 5 inches, from 10 inches, okay, 8 inches, and so on. The rules don't apply. Just make them the way you want. Just get some good practice in laying down your 1/4 inch seam allowance, pressing the seam, all right? And then once you make this block, you'll just start attaching blocks to blocks, okay? and you'll be on your way to getting your top layer or for your quilt, okay? Or your quilt top is what they're called, okay? Please subscribe. Thanks for watching my video, and it's only fabric and it's only thread.